we can kind of get younger
Yeah.
on the inside when it comes to our health and our likely longevity and the wellness that we can expect of ourselves as we age. So explain that.
That's right. It's not just about more years to your life. It's more life in your years. And the key is to understand that for the first time, we have the ability to measure our biological age, which we never had before. So we can see, based on what we're doing, our lifestyle, our habits, whatever we're doing, how that affects our biological age. And the truth is, most of us have come to expect disease, frailty, disability, dysfunction, and decrepitude as sort of the normal consequences of getting older, but they're not. It turns out the science is very clear that they're actually dysfunctions that are a disease process that can be treated, reversed. And that's the whole point of my book, Young Forever, is to unlock this new science of longevity and teach people how, with very simple, affordable practices, they can reverse their biological clock, even as they get chronologically older.
All right. And I want to tell people, I should have mentioned this up top. You went to Cornell undergrad. You went to the University of Ottawa, Faculty of Medicine there. You're a practicing family physician. You're MD, 14-time New York Times bestseller, and also the head of strategy and innovation at the Cleveland Clinic Center for Functional Medicine. That's what we're talking about, functional medicine. That's what your specialty is. So you know of what you speak. Decrepitude is a hilarious word for the aging process.
Yeah, it kind of gets the point home, you know? I mean, just really look around and you go, well, nobody wants to be 100 years old, because by the time you get to be 100, you're like, barely can get out. Maybe you're in a nursing home, you're frail. I saw a guy on a horse who was 100 years old riding around in Costa Rica. That's impressive, because he's one of the blue zones where they naturally incorporate the habits of how to live a long time just by default. I mean, we need to learn from them. And we need to incorporate some of the more incredible advances in longevity science, but we can actually reverse our biological clock and stay vital and fit as we get older. And I know at 63, I'm way more fit and stronger and capable than I was when I was 30. And it's really remarkable to see how by applying this longevity science, we can literally turn back our clocks and add a lot of value to our lives, because most of us walk around feeling like crap. We're tired, we're sluggish, we can't sleep great, we have digestive issues, joint pains, maybe headaches, congestion, who knows what. And I call it FLC syndrome. That's when you feel like crap. And we come to expect that as normal. Oh, well, I used to be able to do this, but I can't do that. Nonsense. We actually know, if we know how to regulate our biology, how to turn back the clock and use the advances in longevity science to heal what we call the hallmarks of aging. We can talk about that, but it's basically all this shit that goes wrong. Can I say that on radio?
Yeah,
all this shit that goes wrong that actually is not a normal part of aging. It's abnormal aging. And we all are going to get older. We're all going to get, progressively older, but we don't have to be in that category, people who end up with the last 20% of their lives in poor health. We can feel good up until the end and then go. Like, I've seen many people would live to be 100 and then they just kind of go to bed and that's it. That's kind of how we should go.
Yes, that's what we all want. That's the dream. We're going to get to the blue zones too in a minute, but let's just start with and a couple of things that you said. How do we check? So, because there is a thing you can check. You said in the book, either a blood test or maybe even a saliva test.
Yeah.
So, and that anyone can get to figure out how old you are right now on the inside.
That's right. I mean, we have this amazing ability to reprogram our genes. People don't realize that, but we can actually measure the rate at which our genes are aging in a sense. There's this program called the epigenetic program, which is regulating how our genes are expressed or regulated. And so our genes aren't fixed. We can't change those, but the way they're expressed is influenced by what we eat and exercise, how we think, environmental toxins, our nutritional status, our microbiome. All these things wash over our genes and regulate the epigenome, which is modifiable. So the keyboards on a piano are 88 keys. You can't change that. Same thing with your genes. You got 20,000 genes. You can't change that. But the piano player can play classical, ragtime, jazz, rock, reggae, whatever. And that is the epigenome. The epigenome can be changed. And so the new tests are measuring the rate of your biological aging through your epigenetic marks on your genes. And that changes over time. In one study, they reversed the biological age of the participants by eating a healthy diet and some simple lifestyle practices using a functional medicine framework. In 8 weeks, they reversed their biological age by 3 years using this diagnostic metric.
Now, how is this telomeres? Is this what they're
No, it's not
testing for, or
telomeres.
is
It's
that
called
something
DNA
different?
methylation. It's basically telomeres also are measured, and that's another way of looking at your rate of aging. There are many other ways, but this is a really important way because it's really powerful to see what's happening to the epigenome, which is a regulator of aging. And so it's measuring what we call DNA methylation. It's basically little marks on your DNA with a carbon and 3 hydrogens that it is a signal to turn on or off this gene or regulate this pathway. And that's exactly what we can influence by what we eat, by how we exercise, by our thoughts and belief systems, by our social connections, by reducing our exposure to toxins. All these things help to optimize our epigenome.
So do you go to the doctor, your primary care physician, and say, I want to check my epigenome, or how do you test for this?
You could. They might look at you cross-eyed because it takes about 20 years for scientific advances to end up in the clinic. But you can go online, literally order a home test. And there's a number of labs out there. I don't have any affiliation with them, but one is called True Diagnostic that provides a whole comprehensive set of age-related tests and diagnostics. There's other labs that do it, and I think there's an emerging science. So we're constantly refining and improving the diagnostics. But it's something you can do. It's not terribly expensive. It's probably between $200 to $500 for the testing, and then you can see, oh, where am I at? And if you're like 60 and it shows up 40, awesome. If you're 60 and it shows up 70, it's time to get to work.
Keep reading. Keep reading. Wait, and just to be perfectly clear, so for the audience, what should they Google to find these tests? Should they Google epigenome and then the name of that lab?
Yeah, they can go DNA methylation testing. One of the labs is True Diagnostic that I use, but there's others. Yeah, DNA methylation, epigenetic testing. I don't know. You'll find it.
All right, so that's good. So if you could reduce it if you could reduce your age, your biological age by 3 years and 8 weeks, does that mean in 2 years of living
well?
To
zero?
Like how? I mean, could I be like sweet 16 again? How low could it become?
That's a great question. I don't know. We don't know. We haven't tested and figured it out yet. I think it's very reasonable to expect you can get a 10 or 20-year reversal. If you're older, if you're 20, you're not going to get a 20-year reversal, but you can actually start to see these metrics change. And we're learning all the time about how far we can go. I'm curious if I can get to 25. I'm applying all these new strategies that I wrote about in my book, Young Forever, about how to reverse my biological age. I'm 63, but biologically 43. But I've been living a healthy lifestyle most of my life. So even though I've had some health issues, I've been able to actually keep my body working pretty well. So I think I don't know is the answer to the question, but I think we'll find out soon enough. And I think what's even more kind of sci-fi I talk about in the book is new discoveries that allow us to reprogram our genes and our cells to a younger you. So maybe there's at some point in 10, 15 years where you'll be able to take some factor externally that will reactivate or turn on these transcription factors called Yamanaka factors that have been implanted in you externally, and they can actually reverse your genes. So if you're 50 and you have arthritis, or your skin's a little wrinkled, your hair's a little gray, you're getting metabolism's bad, your muscles are kind of wasting, you can turn on this switch and turn back the clock to 25. Now, that's kind of happening in animal studies right now. It's not in human studies, but it's really wild. Like, for example, they're taking blind mice and actually programming their cells to a younger version that actually regains their sight. So that kind of is mind-blowing, but that's not available right now. But it's kind of talks about the potential we have to literally turn on these ancient healing systems in our body. See, that's the whole thing, Megyn, that's so remarkable about the science. For so many years, we've been treating disease and we're going down the wrong path. We need to be discovering what creates health.
Going to bed at a decent hour did not always mean I got enough sleep. Maybe you can relate. Oftentimes I was too hot or too cold or just not comfy. Well, that changed thanks to my Cozy Earth bedding, the softest, most luxurious, and responsibly sourced bedding on the planet. Cozy Earth bedding is naturally temperature regulating, so I sleep great in any weather. And I'm not alone. Laura, she left this 5-star review. Quote, my husband and I are getting the best sleep we've ever had, to the point where we don't wake up in the middle of the night because we're so comfortable. I can't wait to buy more colors, end quote. Cozy Earth bedding is made from the finest materials, including premium viscose made from highly sustainable bamboo. Whether it's their luxury sheets, available in 5 beautiful colors, their loungewear, pajamas, or their premium waffle bath towels, you're going to love shopping at Cozy Earth. Hurry, save 35% right now on Cozy Earth. Go to CozyEarth.com, enter my promo code Megyn, M-E-G-Y-N, and save 35% off your order. CozyEarth.com, promo code M-E-G-Y-N. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.